We just thank you for your time. We appreciate it. We know that it's valuable and you got a lot of other things you could be doing. So we appreciate you spending some time here with us to do this. We're excited. This is Bree is with SanMar, and actually we've got Gavin, who's going to be our new rep with SanMar on the call also. This is actually the first time we've gotten to put a face with a name with him, and we're looking forward to working with him. And Bree's moving on to her home state of Indiana, and she'll be taking care, which we're still mourning the loss, but we're excited to have Gavin. So, and Bree's actually coming back. She's our first repeat partner series guest. She joined us, I think, and Brett can correct me on this. I think it was October-ish of last year, and some of you may have joined that. And so she did a great job. I remember it was probably one of the more fun presentations that we had, and we're excited to have Bree back and go through the things that SanMar has to show us. They've got some cool new products and brands, and I think you'll enjoy what you're about to see. So Bree, I'm going to turn it over to you so we can get rolling.
All right. Well, here we go.
Hey,
Well,
and just
thanks.
real quick, if you want to follow along, for those of you who aren't familiar with SanMar and who they are and all that stuff, I don't know if you've got like a second screen or anything, but just go to sanmar.com, SANMAR.com. And if you see a style on there, you can more or less just kind of type in the product code or whatever to follow along or look at it or whatever. So just a little bit of information there for you.
Yeah, and if you have any questions as we're going through, feel free to use the chat. We can answer them right on the call here. So, well, thanks for that great intro. I'm excited to be here. We have a lot to go through, a lot of fun and exciting products, but I thought I would kick it off with a fun video just to kind of get things going. It's a shame that the videos aren't on because dancing is allowed. I will just say there's some great music here. So this quick little 1-minute video just to highlight what you're going to see today. All right. Are you guys hyped up? I can't help myself but dance whenever I hear that.
I didn't
song.
know. No one's got their cameras on, so we didn't know if anybody else was dancing. But Bree, you were dancing too.
I was dancing. I can't help myself. Well, hopefully you saw some really cool products in that little snippet. We're going to dive into a little more about everything that you saw, but we do have some great new brands that I'm excited to share with you, like Travis Mathew and Wonderwink, and we'll go ahead and get started. Before we get into the product, though, I did want to kind of talk about some new trends that are emerging from 2021, just so you can kind of keep this in mind when you are choosing your promotional products. The first one that I want to talk about is sustainability. And, sustainability really just kind of looks at, what we're all doing as individuals and as companies to kind of help keep the world healthy, so to speak, for those future generations. And sustainability was a really big topic before COVID, but it's even more prevalent now. There was actually a study that was done, and they found that 85% of consumers care more about sustainability now than they did before COVID. So 85%, that is a lot of people. And again, so when you're choosing your promotional products, you need to, think about who's receiving the products and ask yourself, is sustainability important to them? And the odds are probably yes, considering that it's important to 85% of people. So the next one that I want to talk about is this emphasis on essential. And really what this one is kind of talking about is, travel was halted in 2020, at least air travel. But what we found is that a lot of people were still exploring, but they were exploring a little closer to home. So camping was an industry that saw a lot of growth. RVing was another industry that saw a lot of growth. And so you could ask yourself, what does that mean for, promotional products? When you're thinking about the products that you want to get for your employees or, customers or clients, you might want to consider, if you've used luggage in the past, maybe that's not as relevant now, but maybe consider using a more outdoorsy kind of bag, something that they can use when they're, hiking and exploring on the weekends. The next one here is this idea of taking care of ourselves. And I don't know about y'all, but I was victim to the whole COVID-19 pounds situation in 2020. So, but 2020 was definitely a year of stress and anxiety, but 2021 is going to be, all about a healthy lifestyle and being active. And, with gyms closed down, digital workouts were booming industry. Peloton was up 176%. I did join Peloton in 2021, trying to lose those 19 pounds there. But anyways, it is definitely a booming industry. So again, when you are thinking about products that you're choosing for your promotional goods, you want to consider product that can transition well on Zoom calls and then into the gym, or if you want to pop outside for a quick workout. Another industry that is seeing a lot of growth is golf, actually. Rounds are actually up 32% in the golf industry. And with this growth, I think we're definitely going to see a rise in golf outings again. And so if you are considering a golf outing, you definitely want to, at least when it comes to the apparel, again, you want to consider items that transition well from the golf course to dinner to work or a Zoom call. And TravisMathew is the perfect brand for this. So they actually, they're a really great brand. And again, I have a little dance break video for you that just kind of gives a little highlight of some of the products that you're going to see here. So, we don't need to play it again. So this is actually a brand that is brand new to the promotional products industry. So this has never been available before. So it's really exciting. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about the brand, but we are going to follow up with a brand video so you can get to know the brand if you're not as familiar. But just kind of as a high level, TravisMathew was started by a PGA pro player. And when he was looking at all of the golf brands that were out there, he just kind of felt like all of the brands were a little too loud and kind of in your face. And so he wanted to develop a more lifestyle brand. And so therefore TravisMathew was born. It's definitely this more kind of subtle look and that SoCal kind of vibe. They're actually sold in Nordstrom, and the #2 professional player in the world is sponsored by TravisMathew. It's Jon Rahm here. And then we also have some celebrity endorsers here. We've got Mark Wahlberg, and for those Bachelor fans, Chris Harrison is also a fan of the brand. So diving into the actual product that TravisMathew has, they are, again, a perfect kind of lifestyle brand. So what we found is that people are kind of moving away from those kind of traditional 100% poly, moisture wicking, slick kind of shirts and more into this more blended, softer feel. And again, it's just that perfect option that takes you from the Zoom call outside, and you can dress it up, you can dress it down. So this is like my favorite polo in the whole line, and you've got a lot of great colors here. If you want something that stands out a little bit more, we have the blocked polo here, and then we also have the Cabana chest stripe polo here. And TravisMathew really is known for their chest stripes. So this is definitely an iconic piece for them. And then we also have some.
Bree, real quick, what was that initial polo? You don't have to go back to it necessarily, but I just wanted to make sure to point that out because I love the look of that too.
Yes, this is the Oceanside polo.
Okay.
So the only difference here is this one on the left is more of a solid color option, whereas this is going to be more that heathered look, which is just kind of blended with like a gray or white to give it that kind of.
Got it. So those two are essentially, they're the same item, just one's solid, one's heathered. And
Correct.
Okay. And then real quick, before you go much further, I just wanted to ask, like, we're obviously excited about the TravisMathew brand. I've heard about it for a long time. Is it, would you say that it's kind of more of like at this point, maybe known more with a younger crowd a little bit?
It's definitely popular with the millennials and the younger demographics. It's more of a trim fit as well. So, and I guess when I say that, it's just not boxy. It's going to flatter a lot of different body types.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Bree, I have a quick question on it too. Do they have a women's?
So there's no ladies pieces in the Travis Matthew line. They actually don't offer it in retail either. They don't have any ladies pieces. But it is something that hopefully we'll be able to offer in the future. But we have lots of great other ladies products from our other brands that can really coordinate well. Like, for example, this one that I'm wearing here would look just fine with a black Travis Matthew polo. I wish they had ladies. I could use some stuff. Any other questions? Okay. So Travis Matthew does offer hats as well. And their look here, again, is just that ultimate living the good life, really cool, casual kind of hats. And then if you do prefer that more moisture wicking, 100% poly slick polo, this is a really good option for you because it's actually the most affordable in the Travis Matthew line at a $60 price point before decoration. And then for outerwear, we have the Newport collection that you see here on the left, which is just a really buttery soft, super high-end, really nice option, again, that you can wear a lot of different places. And then the Surfside jacket here on the right is more that traditional kind of golf jacket. It has that nylon polyester feel, and it has a little bit of spandex. So, you know, that's really nice when you're out, you know, hitting the links, as they say. Get a little flexibility there. So any other questions on Travis Matthew, or you want to move on?
No, I was just going to comment. I think one of the things I'm excited about, again, the workforce keeps getting younger. And I know this is, as I mentioned a second ago, this is a brand that is popular with a little bit younger crowd. And then also, I think, there's probably a lot of people on this call and a lot of people in general that have done a lot of Nike, a lot of the brands that we've had for a while. So I like the fact that we've got a fresh option to look at. And the price points are generally going to be in that same sort of premium brand, like a Nike or, an Under Armour or something like that. So I'm excited to work with clients, get some samples out there and start, using the product.
Yeah, we're really excited about this one. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to Ogio. So Ogio is a great brand to consider if you like more of a techie kind of modern look with your apparel. So we just came out with this new Code Stretch collection, and this is one of those pieces that's great for work from home options because it's actually something that you want to wear because it's so nice and soft. And the one that you see here on the left is actually an untucked length, so it is meant to be worn more casually. And if you think about what a polo feels like on, this is what this button down feels like. So again, it's just more of a more casual option when it comes to a button down. We're going to move on to New Era. So New Era is the official headwear line for all of the professional sports teams. So you've probably seen their hats on the sidelines when you're watching, games and things, but they actually just pretty recently got into the apparel side of things. They just saw a really good opportunity to have a team inspired clothing line. So if you have any, team building events or anything like that, this is a great brand to consider for that. So this is a tri-blend collection that we just came out. And if you're not familiar, tri-blends are really like the creme de la creme when it comes to t-shirts. They are just so soft. So it's really nice to have a high-end brand to use for your, t-shirts. And one thing that we have found is that when it comes to ladies styles, we don't just want like a smaller version of the regular t-shirt. We want something a little more feminine and with some little more details here. So for the coordinating piece here, we went with this 3/4 length sleeve shirt. And I love this one. I think it's one of my top favorite pieces of the new line here. And I have this video here that's going to show you 2 different ways that you can wear that shirt.
For tomorrow, no, I won't give it a break. Don't need to beg, steal, or borrow.
I don't know why it plays twice, but another little dance break there. But I just like that you can wear it, different ways depending on, the mood for the day. Okay,
quick,
so we're
I'm just going to comment, Bree, on the New Era stuff, and I don't know. I'd be curious if Brett agrees with me on this or whatever. But like, it feels to me like what I like about the New Era clothing is it feels like a great proxy for people who in the past may have used like Champion or something like that, where they want to elevate from you know, the sort of in-house brands and go to something that is a brand that people will know, but maybe a little bit of an athletic feel. And I know that I have a couple of the crew neck sweatshirts that have been in the line for a little while, and I love them. So I mean, you know, the quality's there, and I love the fact that this tri-blend. I think that, you know, I think you had even mentioned that this tri-blend, the price came down, you know, a little bit, and it's a little more competitive with some of the other options.
Yeah, that's correct. And that's a great point with the Champion line. Champion is one that is booming right now, and they have great products, but a lot of their t-shirts are kind of that thicker, kind of almost rough feel. And so this one is going to be that super soft, athletic look. That's a great point.
What's the price point on that t-shirt?
If you see anything that you like, we can always, Landon or Brett can get you a
Yeah, it's, I'll get that for you, Justin. And it's not dodging the question. It's more just hard, just because we don't know how it would be imprinted. But I can actually, I'll tell you what, I'm going to put myself on mute and I'll pull it up and I can jump back in here in a second with a ballpark, like with a one color front kind of a thing.
No worries. Thanks.
Okay. All right. So next we have Sport Tech, and Sport Tech is a brand that is really becoming more of a lifestyle athleisure brand, which is really exciting to see. This shirt right here, this collection, the Strive collection, is brand new from Sport Tech, and I really like this collection. And it's one where I wish you could like reach your hand through the screen to feel it, because this shirt is so nice. It looks like it's, again, one of those kind of moisture wicking shirts, the dry fit ones, but this one has, again, more of a feel of your favorite lightweight t-shirt. So it feels like your favorite t-shirt, but it performs like a moisture wicking shirt. So it is still moisture wicking. It has a little bit of a slub look is what we call it. And it just gives a little bit of heathered detail. And then these polos, again, are part of the Strive collection. So it's going to feel like your favorite t-shirt with the collar. And the price point on these are really affordable. It's only $16 before any decoration on these polos. And then for some new lightweight outerwear, we have the Sport Wick Flex Fleece. I always have to say that one a little slower. It's kind of a tongue twister. But this is another home run. So when we got our samples of all of these new products, I opened up my box and I was looking at this piece here on the left, and I honestly thought it was the Travis Matthew piece. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so nice. And then I looked at the label and I was like, oh, okay. I see you, Sport Tech. So it has that high-end feel, but again, it's a great price point at only $40, again, before decoration. So
yeah,
really nice high-end feel.
To that point, I mean, everyone loves like the name brand stuff, like the Under Armour, the Travis Matthew, the Nikes of the world and all that stuff. But a lot of times budgets just don't allow for that, especially when you're outfitting an entire team. And personally, what I have found with the Sport Tech stuff, from the stuff that I've sold in the past to the stuff that I've seen personally, it is a fantastic quote unquote off-brand piece that fits a budget if you need it, that is right up to par with those big guys. So if you're looking for something like that, definitely consider Sport Tech for those needs.
I would second that. As a matter of fact, I know David and Tim Fishburne are on here, and I know that we've used the quarter zip pullover, and I don't want to speak for you guys, but it seems like we've been pretty pleased with that item. That's a Sport Tech item, I'm pretty sure. And so it's just
yeah, absolutely, Lane, and our guys have been extremely pleased with that product through all the groups we've used it on. So
yeah, so Sport Tech is just a great, I would just say it's a fantastic value for those kind of things.
Cool. Y'all are hired. Thanks for helping with that. Okay, so the next brand I want to talk about is Next Level. And Next Level is going to be a really good brand to consider if you want a high-end fashion t-shirt brand. So we've got a lot of different brands when it comes to fashion t-shirts. If you are on a budget, District is a great fashion brand to consider. But if you want something a little more elevated, then you could always look at Bella Canvas or Next Level. Bella Canvas and Next Level are pretty similar, I would say. But the main differences are going to be color offerings. So if you haven't been able to find a color that you would like, then I would definitely consider using Next Level. It's definitely high quality product. I'm just going to kind of highlight a couple of the pieces here that they're most known for. Their number one t-shirt by far is this CVC tee, which just stands for Chief Value Cotton, not cheap, Chief. And really just means that there's more cotton than poly in the shirt. So again, it's that blended feel. I always like to kind of call it, like I mentioned that tri-blends are kind of like the creme de la creme of t-shirts. This is kind of like a tri-blend on a budget. So it feels like that nice soft blended shirt, but it's not as high as a tri-blend price point. We also have some great ladies pieces. This one is one of my favorites here, and I love it because it fits true to size. You can order your true size and it won't be too tight or anything. And then you have some really nice fun details here on the bottom where it's kind of a high-low look, and it has a raw edge, which I just think gives it a nice vintage look. Any questions with Next Level?
I was just going to comment on Next Level. It's funny. We did a dry run yesterday and we were kind of debating whether to show this stuff. And what I think the point that I made, and I feel like Brett agreed, was just we were kind of on the fence. But one of the things about Next Level and this stuff is it's a little out on the edges from a much more of a retail design. And so, you know, sometimes in corporate, it's like we're a little unsure about it. But I love showing it here because I want to sort of seed the decision out to everyone on the call and everyone who will watch once it's recorded. And the idea here is to show you a brand that I'm sure you're familiar with and to show you some styles that you may look at and go, that would work for this application that we may not have an occasion to show you in some of like the day-to-day curation we're doing for you.
Yeah, and another thing that we've also been noticing when it comes to corporate apparel is that it seems to be getting a little more casual. So where, you know, you might have been wearing polos before, maybe now t-shirts are acceptable in the workplace, especially if you're on a Zoom call. So good points there. Okay, so another t-shirt brand to consider is All Made. And so we talked about sustainability and how important that is. All Made is a brand that keeps sustainability top of mind. All of their items are sustainable. And so we launched the brand, I think last May, so in the summer of last year. And we launched with all of the tri-blends, which we've talked about a couple times here, which are the super soft t-shirts. And one thing that I like to point out with All Made is that, again, it's making an impact on the environment. So let's say you guys have an order for 100 cotton t-shirts. If you were to switch that order over to the All Made tri-blend, you would be saving 7,600 gallons of water, and you'd be reducing plastic waste by 22 pounds. There's actually 6 water bottles in each tri-blend shirt. So the products that you're choosing for your promotional goods really do impact the environment. So it's something to consider. But one thing that we noticed is that we wanted to have a more affordable option for sustainable products. So this is a great entry-level price point if you do need, or if you do want to kind of use those sustainable products. So this is a 100% organic cotton tee, again, that is a sustainably made shirt. And this is a great brand. Like the product feels really great. And the price points aren't really that far out of reach as well. So
I was going to say on this, I have liked the All Made brand since I've seen it. We've had some samples. Admittedly, I don't think we've sold any of it. And that may be on us not showing it. That's one reason we wanted to show it here, because again, back to the trends, the sustainability trend, we keep seeing it more and more. So we just like to keep showing it because we probably need, honestly, we probably need to weave this in a little bit to some of the curation we're doing. Like when people ask for t-shirts, we need to put this out there as a sustainable option, and we will do that. But just, you know, keep this in mind, and please reach out to us for samples, because I think that's one of the important things about this. It's the sustainability angle, but I think if you get one of these pieces in hands, you'll see how soft and comfortable it is, and like Bree said, the price points are relatively comparable to the other options. So it's not like you're paying a huge premium to do it.
And another point that I want to make is sustainability is really important to millennials. And I know sometimes Landon rolls his eyes when I talk about millennials. But the thing is they're the largest workforce today. So, you know, again, it's just something to consider about.
I only roll my eyes because I'm not one.
I know. Okay.
At least I don't think. Maybe by the technical definition I am. But it's just, Bree, I'm just trying to come to grips with the fact that I'm 40 years old. Okay?
I understand.
I do know my customers are getting younger, though. I'm with it, man. That's why I got Brett and Ross. They're so much younger.
See, you love the millennials. You love them.
I'm a token millennial on staff. So.
Oh my gosh. All right. What do we got next here? Okay, so again, kind of sticking with that sustainability. trend that we're seeing. We launched the Re-Tee last year and it has done so well. And this is a 100% recycled t-shirt. So there really are no other options that are like this that are 100% recycled. So what we're doing is we're taking those plastic water bottles, like I mentioned before, but we're taking it a step further. So when we're manufacturing t-shirts, you have the pattern of the t-shirt and you have the scraps on the outside. And typically those scraps end up in landfills. But we're taking those scraps and we're breaking it down into new yarn and we're mixing it with those water bottles to create this 100% recycled t-shirt. And like I said, it's been doing really, really well. So we went ahead and added the youth companion to that, which is really nice. And then this shirt right here is one that we are really excited about. So I think you're hearing that tri-blends and softer tees are where it's at. But sometimes the challenge with that is on the printing side, if you use screen print, you're limited to a certain amount of colors. But what we've done here is we've taken those popular tri-blends and we've made it compatible with direct to garment printing, which really is just like, think about your inkjet printer for your paper that you use. It really is like you're putting t-shirt through a printer and you're just printing. And if you think about all the colors you can print on a piece of paper, it's the same thing with this shirt. And I think, Landon, did you have a sample of?
Yeah, so I was just going to jump in. So the easiest way to explain it is remember that polyester is plastic. And so what that means is because it's plastic, it does not absorb whatever you're printing on it. Whereas cotton is a natural fiber and it does. So that's kind of a foundational thing. And so the reason that they've had some challenge with some of these print methods on what has become so popular, initially it was the 50-50 tee, the cotton poly blend, and then it sort of moved to the tri-blend, which incorporated, I think, rayon. And then you have some other iterations of that now. But so in order to do some of these print methods, they needed to use 100% cotton tee. So the challenge became everybody wanted full color imprints, but they were tired of the Gildan, and the sort of rough, heavy 100% cotton tees. And there you had a bit of a stalemate. And so one of our most popular shirts has been the DM130 from SanMar, which is the tri-blend. A lot of you have used that. And so what they've done here is they took that very successful tri-blend t-shirt that frankly has performed very well against like American Apparel, Next Level, and Bella. I mean, when we send in samples, people pick the DM130 and they've treated it so that you can print it full color. So I can't see myself, but you're going to have to tell me, this is an example. Can everyone see this?
Up a little bit. Yeah, perfect.
Okay, so, and by the way, this is a little bit of a plug for a customer of ours, Resonate Recordings. If you're a true crime podcast fan, check out Culpable. It's awesome. But so that is an example of a direct to garment print on this DTG shirt that they've created. And so now you get sort of the best of both worlds, where you've got the really super soft shirt and a full color imprint. The only thing I will say is to Bree's point about the process, one of the downsides of direct to garment is they haven't really developed a way to produce in quantity in a way that saves them cost. So they pretty much still have to do one or two or a few at a time. So what that means is when you do a direct to garment shirt, you typically will not see a ton of reduction in price with quantity like you would with other print methods. So there you go. So hopefully that's helpful in explaining that.
Awesome job. I love that shirt, by the way. And I love Culpable podcast. It's one of my favorites. All right. So again, you're seeing a trend here. Tri-blend tees are where it's at. And this is a brand new tri-blend from our Port and Company line. And the price point here is going to blow you out of the water. So this is one where, again, Landon and Brett can get you a quote on this, but it is really soft and a great price point, and you've got a lot of different colors here. What makes this different from like the DM130 that Landon was talking about is the DM130 is using combed and ring spun cotton. And so what that process means is basically you have a thread of cotton and there's all these like kind of fibers sticking out. And when it goes through the combed and ring spun process, you're basically stripping that yarn so it becomes smoother, and that's how you get that softer feel. And with this, that's an expensive process, but what we did here is this is not combed and ring spun cotton, but we have a finish on it. So it still feels super soft, but it comes in at a better price point. And I know we've talked a lot about different t-shirts, and it's kind of like, oh my gosh, how can you like decipher all of them? So here's a little video that shows different uses for all the different shirts.
Here are 6 great t-shirts to consider for your next custom order. Want something soft but affordable? Try the District Very Important Tee. Looking for a tri-blend but on a budget? Check out the new Port & Company tri-blend. Want a soft blended tee with a side seam? Then go with the next level CVC tee. Need a sustainable option? How about the District Re-Tee? For a soft but heavier vintage tee, go with the Port & Company Beach Wash. And for a super soft, lightweight option, check out the Bella Canvas tri-blend.
So I know there's a lot of t-shirts out there. Hopefully that was helpful. We can send that as a follow-up too if you need to kind of rewatch that. But another
I think
item.
that's, but I just was gonna say, I think that's really helpful. I mean, for me, I mean, I took notes on each of the styles. I think I think it is. So I'm sure that would be helpful to people to see again.
Those are kind of my personal favorites out of everything that we have that I showed there. And again, I just love them all for different reasons. So hopefully that was helpful again. And like I said, we can send it out later too if you need to.
The only thing I would do is I'd probably bump your BC 3413 for the DM 130.
I know I do love the DM 130, but I was trying to give some love to the Bella Canvas line, which they do have some really good colors. So
Yeah.
I know everyone's got their favorites. It's like Pepsi or Coke sometimes.
Coke.
So we have some new joggers from our Port & Company line. And what we found is that joggers are really popular right now, I think, with the rise in Zoom calls and, you know, being professional on top and super comfortable on the bottom. So these have been doing really well. We have a lot of other joggers. These are just the most new option that we have.
So again, I just want to point out, we talked about this yesterday as well. We wanted to just show this really quick because we want you guys to be aware that we can do things like this. And there is a growing number of options in our industry for pants. And so it's, you know, it's something I admittedly haven't sold a lot of over the years, but I think things are changing and we just want you to know that they're out there.
Perfect. Okay, so let's get into some uniforming. So if you have a need for a professional, there it is. A professional look, this is a brand new collection that we just launched. It's called the Super Pro React collection. And what it is it's a combination of 6 styles that coordinate between 18 different colors. And so we have 4 button-down twills. And you see here that they're available in 18 different colors. And what makes this one awesome is that it's a really good price point, but it offers stain release, it resists wrinkles, and it also is easy care, meaning you can, you know, comes out without looking wrinkly out of the wash. And again, what makes this unique is that it does coordinate with these polos. So again, you can have a more dressed up version and then a more casual version with the polos. And again, these do have the stain release, the snag resistance, and the easy care, and they coordinate in 18 colors. So it's great for uniforming. Was there a question that came through? Yes, thank you, Gavin. Yes, joggers are so big with the younger crowd.
Just for the record, I'm not wearing joggers. I'm wearing
joggers might be like the ladies or the men's companion to ladies leggings, which I definitely have rocked some leggings.
I will say this pretty much every day, and Brett knows this about me. When I get home, the first thing that happens is, depending on the weather, is like some kind of shorts or joggers and a t-shirt and some, so there you go.
I hear you. Real quick, I do want to point out on this Super Pro React collection, this is a very affordable option that offers a lot of those great qualities that you're looking for in uniforming. So this is, you know, $15 for a polo with all of those great qualities. Got lots of jogger fans on the call. Okay, so some other options. We have this new City Stretch polo collection here that you see on the left. This is another one. I wish you could just like reach through the screen to feel it because it is so soft, really great fabric. And what I like about this one is that it has a full button front for the ladies, which is just a little different. I haven't really seen that a lot. And then you have a longer sleeve here, which is nice. Some women are a little self-conscious about their arms, so it's nice that it's covered. We've got some more chat going on here. What do we got here? All about the joggers. Y'all
Ignore. Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. Okay. And then we also have some great new lady styles. So we were talking earlier about, you know, Travis Matthew and how there's no lady styles. This is a great option. I'm actually wearing it today. I love it. It is so soft. It's comfortable. It's tunic length. It's really flattering on a lot of different body types. So you have the 2 options here with kind of the polo collar look, and then you have one with this little peekaboo on the shoulder, which is really cute. And we've seen a lot of great lady styles. So here are my favorite lady styles from all of these new styles that we've seen. Lots of good options for us ladies.
And the hair change there at the end. You
I
just
know.
put that in that one.
I need to work on my editing skills maybe. Any questions here? If not, we'll just.
I just wanted to comment and say so the ladies items, and I don't know if I talked over you, Brett, I'm sorry, but just what we continue to see, I think, is the whole industry keeps pushing forward with better ladies items. And so that's, we want to keep focusing on the new stuff that's coming out there. And that's why, we wanted to make sure to highlight those, and I'm looking forward to feedback on those styles.
It's nice because, typically our industry was always very matchy, but we have more options where the guys can get what they like in the polos, and then the ladies can get something that we actually like to wear. Because I just am not a polo fan myself, and so I find myself always in these like kind of unique ladies pieces.
I think there's no doubt in my mind that we constantly see that women don't like polos. I mean, we hear it constantly. I think Brett would support that as well. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty clear, I think.
Yep. All right. Everyone's agreeing with the lady styles. Love it. Okay, so some more workwear. So if you have a need for any safety or high vis options, we have a lot of new styles from Cornerstone. So we have some that have enhanced visibility, ANSI Class 2 and ANSI Class 3. So just know that Brett and Landon can help you if you have those needs. And then I also wanted to point out that we have a new hat from Cornerstone, and it looks pretty similar to maybe a Carhartt that you might have seen before, but this comes in at a better price point. So it's a good one to consider.
Again, just to point out, not everybody on this call uses safety, but it's a big time growing part of our business, especially the construction companies. I know Tim, Fishburne works for a construction company, and some other folks on here might, I'm sure like Tracy may even, her people may. So just again, pointing out that we have it, have good options, and let us know if you're interested in safety stuff, because we'd love to work on it for you.
Yeah. And what I was going to say is similar to Sport Tech and how that brand is a really great option compared to the Nikes and Under Armours and Adidas and all those big brands. Cornerstone, what we have found, is a really good comparable to the Carhartts and all those like really durable brands at a better price point. So yeah.
Absolutely. Yes, totally. And another thing too is we have seen that safety vests are actually being used for everyday life too. When you're going outside for walks and things, it just keeps you safe. So there's a lot of uses for that too, other than the traditional. Okay, so we were talking about Carhartt, and we have a lot of great new Carhartt product for y'all. And Carhartt is definitely the most iconic workwear brand that is out there. But what we're finding is that it's become a very big lifestyle brand too. So as you can see here, we've got Rihanna wearing Carhartt, one of the Kardashians, that's Courtney, I think. And then Mark Wahlberg, we're seeing him.
Mark Wahlberg getting a lot of love today, man.
Yeah.
Travis Matthew, Carhartt.
He's just like so on trend. It's just crazy. Or he's getting paid as an influencer. I don't know. So anyways, lots of celebrities are wearing this, and it's really, again, just kind of transitioning to different ages and different demographics. So it's not your, traditional workwear. And one thing that I wanted to point out is there's been this new term that came out in 2020 known as a hipstetter. And I'm going to read the definition here. A hipstetter is defined as one who uses the energy and money they might have otherwise put into social outings and stylish outfits at Instagrammable locations into transforming their home lives instead. So let's take a little quiz to see if you are in fact a hipstetter. So think back on these past 12 months. Did you start a garden in your backyard? Did you cook at home and try some new recipes? Did you do a new DIY project at your house? And if you answered yes to any of those questions, you, my friend, are a hipstetter. I am a hipstetter.
Can you spell that for me? Spell hip. Yeah.
HIPSTEADER. I feel like I'm at a spelling bee.
Whew. All right. Got it.
I mean, I always thought it was like known as a homebody, but I mean, the fact that there's, hip in the word. I'm good with that. So apparently I'm hip. But to that, to the hipster whole thing, basically a lot of people are, have new needs from COVID. And another thing to consider is that the garden industry is way up. So that was an industry that ended 2020 at, what do I have here? $340 billion. And it's expected to reach $576 billion by the time we reach 2026. So again, that's the trends that we're seeing. And so when you're, picking promotional products, it's nice to think about what your employees or clients are doing outside of work hours, and these are great options to use for gardening or just everyday DIY projects. And then we've got this canvas packable duffel here, which you might be seeing soon.
Yep, that was the gift that we did for this partner series. Some of you may have received it already. If not, some of you may be receiving it today. I think we had maybe a handful of you sign up on the 16th, 2 people. I think we were waiting on addresses. We've sent some emails out, but really looking forward, to hearing some feedback on that item. We thought it was awesome, and we hope you agree.
I think it's awesome. Okay, the bag is awesome. David agrees. Perfect. All right, so we've got a lot of great Carhartt bags for you. We've got some backpacks. And really the difference between these backpacks are going to be how much storage is in them and the size of laptop. We've got a hip pack for those hip setters that are out there. And then of course we've got some coolers, which are just we've seen a big increase in cooler sales. So we break this down by how many cans it fits. So you've got the lunch pail here. You've got the 12-can cooler, which is a vertical option. So if any of you use lockers, this is a good option for that. We have a tote cooler. We have a backpack cooler, which is just like amazing. And then we've got the big 36-can cooler here. Lots of chat going on. Yes, everyone's loving the Carhartt bags. Awesome. Any questions or comments on Carhartt?
So just a quick comment. I know that the big push forward in this new set of products has been these bags. I mean, I know you picked up, I think Carhartt, was it last year? Or maybe you've had it for longer than that, but.
Oh, Carhartt, the brand. Yeah, it's been a couple of years.
Yeah, a couple of years. And it was a lot of the clothing. And then I know this year, the big push has been in rolling out a lot of these bags. So like in particular, I don't think you guys had any backpacks, and you've got some backpacks now. And we've sold the backpacks to a handful of our customers, and people love them. So, I mean, again, you don't have to sell the Carhartt brand. People know it. They love it. It's a little bit higher price point, but it's probably worth every penny for the right application.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the fact that it hits a lot of different demographics and age groups, it's not just your typical workwear type of demographic anymore. So yeah, we're really excited about that. And then to end here, I do want to plug that we have something new that's coming, and this isn't available quite yet, but this is going to be available in the spring, maybe like April or May. So if you have a need for scrubs, just know that Goodson can help you with that. And here's another final dance break. We've got one last video here. Landon and Brett, I wish you would have been dancing with me. Just saying.
Well, I figured Brett was. It's just it's not my thing. But here's what I want to say about medical stuff. So I've been around this industry for a long time, and one of the challenges, first of all, I know it's a narrow part of the group that's here, and probably even those that'll watch the recorded version that use medical apparel for us. I mean, we don't have a ton of medical industry or healthcare industry clients, but historically, scrubs have been difficult because to really get the scrub brands that people in the medical space wanted, you had to start in our industry, you had to start working with some fringe suppliers. And it was just a little bit difficult. Inventory was always a bit of a challenge. And then when you would go back to say SanMar or similar type companies, you would find what I would call very boring, very boxy, very uninteresting scrubs that were almost disposable is the way I would describe them. Like they were things that people would buy if they just didn't really want to invest in something nice and they just needed them for a very specific purpose and didn't care what happened to them. What I like about this and what I love about SanMar in general, I mean, really anytime a brand finds its way into SanMar, we know that we're going to get great support, and we know that save a pandemic, we're going to get great inventory, and all those kinds of things. So if you're in need of healthcare, medical clothing, when this comes online, I'm excited about it because I think that it's going to be one of the first opportunities we have to offer a great brand that people will actually like to wear in that industry. So
Absolutely. Yeah. You did a great job highlighting that. Just a couple things I wanted to add here. There are some unique fabrics that we're going to be carrying. So we have two different options here. The Workflex is going to be more of that traditional kind of entry level option, more of your standard cuts. And then we have the Premier Flex within Wonder Wink, which is going to be a more high end, more tailored option. And the really cool thing with Wonder Wink is the size range. So this has petites, it has talls, it has double extra small, all the way up to 5XL. So you've got options for just about everyone, which is really nice. And
so check this out. I just got an email from Ann at Heaven Hill, and this is an interesting use case. I don't know if she's okay with me putting this out there, but we're gonna potentially look at some of the lab coats from Wonder Wink for an application, and they're in the bourbon industry. So I won't say what specific application, but it's again, another use case of where you show something and you don't know how somebody might see it and see a way to use it. So non-medical industry use case. So
we've also been hearing like salons are using scrubs because hair doesn't stick to it. So yeah, there's definitely some different uses. I've also heard some teachers are wearing scrubs these days because it holds up to a lot of washes and things like that. So
because they're also wearing masks, is that might be part of it. So yeah. Yeah. So Ann said they're thinking about an outside the box use at Heaven Hill. So and so what I want to say too is we did the gift that a lot of you have received or will be receiving, and I think a lot of folks that work with us know that anything that you've seen here, get with us. We'll get you pricing. We're happy to send samples. Just to clarify, when did you say Wonder Wink was going to be available, Bree?
Probably late April, maybe early May.
Okay, so we got a little bit of time before that's available. Most everything else should be available that you've seen. And I guess the only other comment, and Bree, you can kind of, jump in here on this. As everyone might be aware, might not be aware, inventory was a real challenge towards the end of last year, given that all that's gone on in the last year. We were kind of hoping, I think, that it would cure by, now or even soon after now. It sounds like inventory is going to be a challenge probably for the bulk of this year, and across the industry, there's some price increases coming. We don't really know when, which suppliers, when it's going to happen. They're doing the best to communicate with us. So I don't want to necessarily end on that note, but I just want to say that this will be a unique year, especially as we get into later parts of the year. If you're thinking about things for, gifting and stuff like that, we're probably going to want to get started earlier than normal to make sure that we can secure inventory. And do you want to say anything about inventory, Bree?
Yeah, just to kind of piggyback on that, one of the things that has been really challenging as a apparel supplier is come to find out it's kind of hard to plan during a pandemic. So you can guess like how things are going to do, but what ended up happening is we actually had a great end of the last year. And so we sold out of a lot of things quicker than we were kind of expecting to, which is great. But so taking a little bit of time to kind of, get back to where we want to be. And one thing that I will say is the high-end retail brands are seeing a lot of success at retail, and they are having a hard time keeping up with the, increase in demand as well. So like Brett had mentioned a couple times, if you have been using high-end retail brands and we're having some difficulty supplying that, take a look at Sport Tech or some of those other brands that we talked about, and hopefully we can get something in your hands a little quicker. But
very good. Brett, do you have anything you want to add, man?
No, I think, sometimes when you see all these different colors, sorry about that, of t-shirts, all these different styles of t-shirts and things of that nature, you can almost feel like you're in t-shirt overload and you just don't really know what to think about it, or how to use it and all that kind of stuff. And I think it's just really important to back away from it and ask yourself as a company, okay, who are we? What is the brand that we're trying to build? What is the use case for these t-shirts? What is our budget? And then once you kind of have all those things in mind, at that point, come to Landon and I and say, okay, this is what we have in mind. What are some options or ideas that you can show us to help us build our brand in this fashion? You know, is it a use case in which you've got like a more sporty crowd of employees or an event to where a new era makes sense? Is it a use case where you're trying to look to that more millennial crowd to where a next level piece makes sense? So on and so forth. And then the same thing with like the Travis Matthew brand. It's not going to be for everybody. The Sport Take brand may be exactly what you need. And so again, having a discussion internally about how you want your brand portrayed, how do you want to build your brand, and then how you want to, I guess, how it's going to fit into your budget. All those things really help Landon and I out whenever we're curating for you on the front end. So that's really the only other thing that I had to say. If you were looking at this and just felt like really overwhelmed by all the options, you know, it's like analysis paralysis. But thinking through that in that manner can kind of help out a little bit.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think, you know, to put a bow on that, and we've talked with some of you about this individually, but, you know, what we're trying to do is, you know, really focus on, especially for like the corporate clients, is, you know, look at really environment, look at how you're going to interact with your employees, how you're going to interact with your customers, and things like in environment. I mean, like the office situation, like how do you want to brand things inside conference rooms and inside, you know, the office in general, how you're going to interact with customers and employees, and how you're going to handle yourself like at events and display at events. And obviously clothing is a part of some of those things. And so we want to make sure that we think about how to use the products and how to align it with your brand and not just sell stuff. And that's where we think we can add a lot of value. And we also just think that that's where people get excited when they see stuff and they start to, you know, you see the life come back into their eyes when they're looking at products. So does anybody have, I know we've had some good conversation. Thank you for your interaction in the chat. And we always appreciate that. Does anybody have any questions or comments before we, you know, head towards wrapping up? Because we're at time and we always want to be respectful of your time. All right.
Hope y'all enjoyed those dance breaks. I don't know if any of you guys were dancing with me, but
Yeah, I was thinking Landon and Brett need a TikTok so they can.
Oh God.
That's much more Brett than Landon. So
I have to lean on my wife for that one. She knows more about it than I do. But no, I do think that
We need her.
I mean, just like Landon and I, for as much fashion senses that we have, which is very little, a lot of times we even struggle with showing women's brands because we don't really know that much about it. And then so even showing stuff on screen, like we can be like, yeah, I mean, that looks attractive. But like you hopping on here and doing the TikToks and showing how stuff fits is like, I can't do that. And outside of samples, you know, it's tough for us to do that. So it's just a nod to you and your creativity and how you're kind of like, I don't know, just utilizing the things that are available to us in a pandemic to show how these styles fit, to really help these women see how stuff fits. So thank you to them.
thank you. Gotta have fun.
Yeah.
Well, hey, so we're going to go ahead and wrap up. Everybody, again, thank you for your time. As always, we appreciate you and we appreciate the opportunities that you send us and the time that you give us. Bree, thank you so much for what you've done for us as you've worked with us for a few years now. We appreciate it. Gavin, welcome. We're looking forward to working with you. Thanks for joining the call. And reach out to us if you got any questions, you need samples, you need pricing. We're here. You know where to find us. And we hope everybody has a great day here where we're at. It's absolutely beautiful outside finally after a lot of rain. And we hope you enjoy it.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
See ya.
No.